We do a quick nigun, Chavra. Quick nigun. Actually, I was teaching. I last night in the Hebrew Shir, I taught the Chavra this beautiful Rav Shlomo nigun that most people don't know, and I just it resurfaced a few days ago. And it was this thing about Hallel. I'm thinking about how much we're davening. Be'emet me'omek halev. We're davening to be able to say this Nisan, Ze Hayom Asa Hashem Nagila v'nismecha bo. So listen to this beautiful nigun. Ze Hayom Asa Hashem Nagila v'nismecha bo. 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 Da da la 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 da 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 la 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 da da ay da da ay ay da la 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 ay la 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 bam 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 da ba da ba dam bam ba do 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 da 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 ay da ay da ay ay da ay ze Hayom Asa Hashem Nagila v'nismecha bo. Sweet nigga, right? Yeah. Totally. It's beautiful. Baruch Hashem. Okay. Good morning, Chavre. We passed the pages. I made a few copies for the Chavre don't have Spurim yet. Month of Nisan, sponsored by David and Nancy Smith, and the birth of their granddaughter. Baruch Hashem. She should grow up to witness the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu. And on the 13th yahrzeit of David's father, Moshe ben Shol, in appreciation to all the Chayalim and their Atzlacha. The Kram family, in memory of grandparents, and great-grandmother, to commemorate the yahrzeits of Shoshana Reisel bas David Dov, Yitzchak Aryeh ben Nochem, Reb Azriel ben Yosef Tovia, and Necha bat Ephraim Zalman Berochel. And by the Sternberg family, for a healthy pregnancy, healthy mom, and healthy babies at the right time for Sarah Rivka Bas Chana Ruth. This week is sponsored by Rav Yitzchak Isaac and Shira Selter, in loving memory of Shira's grandfather, Rav Yehuda Lev ben Rav Shalom Zichrono Livracha. Okay, let's open up, please, to page Samech Gimel. But if you can, for those of you that have the Sefer, you have to keep the back flap on Kuf Nun Vav. because there are going to be some very important footnotes here that we have to look inside. Okay, so if you can, the back on Kuf Nun Vav and Samech Gimel in the front. We completed on Monday the three shlemuyot, the three things that have to be complete and that they're dependent on each other. Shlemut Torah, Shlemut Ha'am, and Shlemut Ha'aretz. Last week, on Monday, we spent a lot of time on Shlemut Ha'am. And Shlemut Ha'aretz, as you see on the top of Samech Gimel, was something very kivyachol basic, where it's basically every single centimeter that's included in the gvulot that Hashem gave us for Eretz Yisrael can never, ever, 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 ever be tampered with, no matter what, under no conditions. And he was explaining to us that the concept of Bina, the world of Bina, takes the Chokhmah, that I know that to be a truth, and then to see how vital and important in all the ways to preserve that entity of the shlemut of the Aretz. And there are three reasons here, as we're going to be seeing today, and it continues to be spicy today. Now, I'm already prefacing by saying a few things, something very important. A lot of the stuff that we'll be reading today, you'll be like, duh, like what's the shaila? What's the question? You have to understand that it wasn't such a clear thing for many people within the world of Torah even, and it still isn't to a certain extent. Just yesterday, someone sent I saw a sirton of a Rav speaking about how we still, in the name of, he probably said Tikkun Olam, because that's the easiest one to always
invoke.
Invoke. Yeah, he's probably saying that, and then in terms of like, even amidst the pain and torture that we're in here, we are the Jewish people, we are the moral, ethical people of the world, and therefore we still have to keep in mind right now that we believe in the rights of this P nation, the P people, to have their own land, and we have to still, there's no way in the world, that's what the enemies really want, for us to give up on any hope of having peace. So,
was this someone from Eretz Yisrael or from?
Unfortunately from here. So, therefore, what? Yeah, it wasn't anyone you'd go to ask for a kashrus, but it doesn't matter. It's still a voice. It's still a voice in a certain world. But, and this is where it's a little bit sensitive for a few people here in the room, but it's okay. It's not just that. It's not just, there have been other worlds of thought through Torah that speak about when it's mutar to chas v'sholom give pieces of land to the enemy. I'm speaking halachically. Yeah. But here we're going to be seeing something al pi the pnimius. Rav Ginsburg is going to take us al pi the pnimius, somewhere very, very special. So look at the bottom of Samech Gimel. Asur lanu latet afilu sha'al me'eretz Yisrael ha'muchzeket biyadenu ka'et mishalosh sibot. You cannot even give a tiny piece of anything of Eretz Yisrael that we have now for three reasons. Talk about three reasons. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu she'akol neh b'dvaro. Min ha'hebet ha'bitchoni, from the security standpoint, mesirat shtachim Eretz Yisrael mesakenet et chayehem shel milyonei Yehudim toshvei ha'aretz. Simply, it's just endangering lives of millions of Yidden living in Eretz Yisrael. הרבי הדגיש פעמים רבות שמבחינת ההלכה הפשוטה, סיבה זו היא האוסרת מסירת כל חלק מהארץ שנמצאת כעת ברשותנו. The Rebbe, when he spoke about this, and we see a lot of different מכתבים and sichot, that the Rebbe dafka chose this reason of the security to be the one that is most prohibits this מבחינת ההלכה. Yeah. That was the one that he spoke about more than any of them, yeah.
The big challenge with that was then when all of the Bitchonistim here in Israel are saying, no, Davka, strategically, let's do a disengagement.
We're going to address that. We're going to address it.
We have to listen to the Bitachon people. We saw the Bitachon people have no idea what they're talking about, and there's 500 miles of tunnels, and the Bitchonistim had no idea, so that, I feel like... I
understand. He's going to address that exact issue. Okay? Sibazo, he said that's the reason that really it's asur to give anything, right? Now, if you go to the back, Kuf Nun Vav, footnote Yud Gimel, I'm going to say this just the beginning of it, okay? כשבאים להכריע הלכה, when you come to paskin halacha, חשוב ביותר לוודא את נכונות הסברה העומדת מאחורי הפסק. You have to really identify and verify the svara that's behind the psak in the best manner. לכן יש להעדיף לבססו על סיבה אחת מהותית ומוצקה, כפי שעושה הרבי במקרה שלפנינו. Therefore, you want to basically say, there's one mahalach we're taking here that'll explain the thing as thoroughly as possible. Even if you have multiple ways of giving an answer to something, the one that's most mutzak, the one that's most solid, is the basis that you use to explain how you're choosing to view the halacha. So, you can have many different reasons why it's asur to give back land, right? But the one that the Rebbe chose to speak about the most was the one that's most mutzak, that's most solid. We're going to understand this a little bit better. למרות שישנן כמה סיבות לאסור מסירת שטחים, העדיף הרבי להתמקד מסיבה שהיא לכאורה יותר מעשית ופחות רוחנית. It's interesting. The Rebbe could have gone more with a spiritual, reasoning behind the inyan of not giving back anything, and Hidafka gives what seems to be a more practical. I don't want to say practical, but more action-based, less spiritual-based. It seems to be more action-based.
Well, you have to also convince people that are taking policy, public policy.
Right, they talk to the spirituality. Zot kevan, but he says here, Rav Ginsburg says, this is why. This is because Chaye Yehudi, Neshama hashochenet beguf chomri, hem erech elyon. Because the physical domain, so to speak, of a spiritual soul is what? Our body. If the body gets shechted, if it's a sakana for the body, then what ends up suffering? I mean, the soul is always chai v'kayam, but the domain in which the soul resides in this world, in our bodies, and surrounding, within, v'chulei, everyone suffers from that. If you're just going with spiritual, it's one thing. When you're going with the actual practicality of chalila, of pikuach nefesh, you're covering both grounds. And it's deeper than that, as you see in the continuation of the footnote. But for now, I just wanted to focus on the fact that the Rebbe Dafka focused on this one. And there are books written, filled with the Rebbe's letters and sichot regarding this exact inyan of chas v'shalom, not messing with when it comes to Eretz Yisrael. Back inside, he's going to continue to quote the Rebbe here. הוא אמר שאם אכן מסירת השטחים הייתה מצילה חיים, כפי שישנם הטוענים, and he says, if giving back land would actually be saving lives, have you ever heard of that? Yes. היו שתי הסיבות הנוספות, הרוחניות יותר, נידחות מפני פיקוח נפש. Then the other two reasons would have been nidcha because of pikuach nefesh, meaning, listen, pikuach nefesh docha et hakol. If you're telling me giving back land is saving lives, then what do I have to do? I have to go to pikuach nefesh. What's pikuach nefesh? I'm playing devil's advocate in the other, right? Give back. If you'd hold like that. Ach kfi, but the Rebbe did not hold like that at all whatsoever. אך כפי שטען והדגיש, מסילת השטחים רק מסכנת חיי יהודים. We are bearing witness and living testimony to the validity and the accuracy of that statement more than ever. Yeah.
Just a question. We're specifically talking about land within the borders. Meaning... Very
good question. I hear what you're saying. We're going to say it soon, but I'll tell you it right now. It's to what we already have. To what we currently have.
Meaning, when we captured Sinai and some of that land was not in the border and we returned it, whatever, is he talking about that land also?
He's talking about any land that Am Yisrael received. אך כפי שטען הרבי והדגיש, מסירת השטחים רק מסכנת חיי יהודים, ומדבריו בעניין, and this is a quote from the Rebbe, הנני מתנגד לחלוטין, באופן חד משמעי, לוויתור על שטחי הארץ המשוחררים, הנמצאים כעת תחת משא ומתן. I completely am against any type of giving back land that are currently under negotiations. I just want to check the year of when he wrote this. I know, because it's Shavuot Tafshin Mem Gimel, so it's after Sinai. It's 83. It's a little bit after. Okay.
Because he was against the Sinai Wales.
Of course, yeah, no, that's why I wanted to see if it was actually about Yamit and everything.
That was maybe about Golan, the Golan.
Huh? Well, in 83, I don't know what the discussion was.
I think it was about the Golan. That was after Milchevet
Tedvav.
Lebanon.
Sorry. Wait a second. I read the wrong footnote. Thank you. Chanukah Mem Aleph. That means December 1980.
Right, so it was
Then.
That was right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you. I read the bottom footnote. Yeah. So, yes.
So this was actually talking
Yes.
about Sinai.
It's December 1980. I don't remember the exact timeline, but I think it was. It had to be.
One of Begin's points was that
Saving, yeah.
the Eretz Yisrael Kedusha, like
So that this is very good what Yossi's saying, because it's amazing that Begin knew that Indian, you know.
But it wasn't
They
Eretz
always know
Yisrael if he had
They know the Indian of what's right. They know the halachas of the.
Something bad. They immediately tell you where it's okay. You know, like your head
But
turn
right, so the Rebbe is saying we're talking about. He's saying I'm getting out of that. I'm talking about any shetach that we have conquered that has definitely a retzifut from the land itself over here. It's not just that. It's not just like its own Indian b'fnei atzmo. It's part of the whole thing, and that he said I completely vehemently against any talk about anything like that. Now he's going to go for it. So that was the first one, habitchoni, which is just a no-brainer. Now mina ebeta musari arikshi. Now let's get all ethical and emotional right now. Mesirat matana shekibel adam lidei acher kamoa kestirat lechi lanoten. You know. I had a wedding gift that I know was a till today I remember it was a regift. Yeah.
sorry about that.
Did you get? Oh, how many did you get? How many Kiddush cups did you get?
What, did it have a name on it?
I forget how I remember how I figured it out.
You had given it to them?
Because they're returning my gift. That'd be great. No, I forget exactly. It was a while ago, obviously, but there was the regifting, and regifting is really not nice. It's a tam. So this isn't even like regifting. He's saying when you give over a gift that really actually came from the heart of heart from someone, right? If it really came from the heart of heart, like you give it to somebody else, he says it's like a slap in the face.
Especially the person that they took it from to give it to you.
What's that?
Like Hashem took it from them to give it to us,
And you're saying,
from a place of love, and we're giving it back to the.
You're saying, yeah. Well, are you sure? What'd you say?
There's that board once where Shlomo said it's all about the wrapping.
It's all about the wrapping of the gift.
I told you what my grandfather used to say about Yerushan Morashan.
Yeah.
It's
The
exactly
same
this
thing.
concept.
רק לפני שנות דור, just not too long ago, מסר השם יתברך חלקים רחבים של הארץ, next page, המובטחת לעמו, בניסים ונפלאות. It was just not so long ago, boys, that Hashem gave us the greatest gift we've gotten, right? Now he asks over here a very valid question. כיצד אפשר להיות חסרי הכרת הטוב? How could you be so ungrateful to the extent, עד כדי העלאת המחשבה על מסירתם לזרים? So there's one thing to be ungrateful, but the level of ungratefulness that leads you to then take it and take what you received and give it to others, not back, but it's beyond this world. That's the moral ethical issue. Now, from the third point, he says like this: From how would you say ra'ayoni torani? From the more idealistic Torah approach, I guess. Eretz Yisrael chayevet lisher b'shleimuta. כיוון שזהותה כארץ המובטחת דורשת את שלמותה. It's got to stay complete, and it's got to get more and more complete as it's promised. As the promised land demands its entirety and its completing. And that's why I always say either we're here or we're not. You understand? Either we're here or we're not. So what does we're not mean? We're not means a certain conception of the last 75 years. That's the we're not. You understand? Mm-hmm. Are you with me? This is very important. Either we're here or we're not. So you can be here for another 300 years and not be here.
that's the argument that yes, all this is true. I'm saying like the I don't know, Litvak way, or like this is true, but they don't mean now
Right. They mean one day.
There's a big meter. You're
Right,
right.
right.
And when Mashiach comes, you're right. There'll be a full border, it's just the way you want it.
Right.
But not now.
Right.
This doesn't apply here and now and this time.
Right. He's not. It's not what he's just explained. It's not what you feel. Correct.
I and I believe us are influenced by that.
Batach. Very
So
much.
I'd like to believe not. And getting over that
But
is-
you're here.
But I'm here. But I'm here, and I just don't know if I drink fully. I don't like, thinking.
Just, I just want to point out, this is a guy that has 2 children currently in the army.
That's right.
Right.
And I told you, and I does play on me. If I said, no, I'm even stronger than ever before. But when I do talk to that world, they there's Yerushalayim Shalmala and Mata. You know it's not the same, Yas.
We're still in Golos.
We're still in Golos. That this doesn't mean now. Like those are the.
No, it does mean now. Meaning the
No,
land
he's
is
explaining their
back to us
tzad.
right now. Let's not give it to our enemies right now.
He's saying l'shitatam. He's not.
Even the Shitatam is like Johnny. I'm saying, fine, let's not lichbosh Lebanon and let's not go to the Euphrates. Fine. We're not going to actually lichbosh into Aretz HaMuvtachah. We can wait in a defensive war. We can retaliate. But right now, to give away the land Hashem gave to us to the enemies of Israel, even our just Sechel Yashar, don't do that. Even Al Pi Shtat Shita, why give away our land? Why would we do that?
Let's continue to see how the Rav develops
Would
this.
this
I just
include all
want
the church compounds and
to.
stuff?
We're gonna get to that right now. Look back inside, Chevra. I want to read again from the beginning of this paragraph. Okay. I know this evokes a lot of emotions. Let's let the Rav kind of like let it flow, let it seep in, and it's good. It's good. These are great nikudot we're bringing up. I just want us to take in what he's saying. ארץ ישראל חייבת להישאר בשלמותה, כיוון שזהותה כארץ המובטחת דורשת את שלמותה. כולה הובטחה לנו. It was all promised to us. The way it looks like right now is not the way that it was promised to us. פגימה מתוך בחירה מודעת באחדותה ובשלמותה של הארץ, כמוה כפגימה בשלמותם המהותית של התורה והעם. It's a very deep line. He's saying a blemish coming from a conscious decision regarding the unification and complete status of the land. You have to understand, that is like you saying, there's a chunk of Am Yisrael I just don't want to be connected to, and there's a chunk of the Torah that I'm okay with not keeping. That's why he's saying they're dependent on each other. That would be probably the best answer to that voice.
Which is telling me, hey, you're not connected to a whole chunk of the Torah. You're not connected to a whole chunk of the people. That's probably at the source of where this mindset comes from.
But you can have 3 of these.
You could. I want to. You could.
Except for the first, you could.
Lafrich means to.
Fakir.
Yeah, like to. Huh?
Prove wrong.
Yeah. You could.
All this on their head, except for the first one. They don't want to
Which
hear
one?
The security one.
And that's why, and that's exactly, and that is why the Rebbe knew, listen, the other ones, you could touch it differently. You can't touch differently when there's a sakana bitchonit.
I mean,
You know?
I don't really agree with what Yishai is saying. Meaning, Am Yisrael is the witness of the living God of Israel. And he promised us in the Torah to give us this land. Us being in the land is a testifying of his sovereignty in the world. It doesn't halacha this, halacha that. Like, that's the reality. If we're not living in the Eretz HaMuftachat, Haz Hashem lo maspeak chazak kedei lekayem et havtachato. And that's it. Either God is real and he brought us back to this land and we will be in this land, or not. It's like meta.
Jeremy.
You have to believe that in order to convince somebody that that's the reality. Yishai's point, and the Rav's point that Yishai is reinforcing, the Rav Shlomo is reinforcing, is that when you speak about it practically and you take all the belief side out, then there's no argument.
Well, there's a Bitchonistim argument.
No, but now they're proven wrong. But they've been proven wrong.
But they're still making the argument.
Okay, so obviously that's why we're learning about Tikkun Medina.
We're trying to learn about the tikkun of the Medina.
Right.
You're getting stuck in current people's opinions. We're trying to azavotam. You're worried about that? We have to be much more concerned right now about those that are running the country. What did the Rav tell us when we went to him?
We have to take control.
We have to take control. That's what. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, the precious Yidden in all over the world they're going to come to the Eretz Yisrael that's taken under control. They will. I believe in it. They will. Let's focus on here. This book is not called Tikkun Lakewood. It's not. No, I'm serious. It's not. Huh? That'd be the least of my problems. Yeah, Eli.
I would just add in, like, at this point, if we're quoting the Rebbe, he was aware of all the Svarim, Kedoshim, all the different paths in Torah, and he understood on a Pneumius level, which gives full achrayut, full responsibility for us to live up to that the Torah is one with Am Yisrael and one with Eretz Yisrael. Meaning everyone's chalik in Torah, everyone's chalik in Eretz Yisrael is one thing. This is from Svarim Kedoshim.
Right.
So if you discount, if you move people away from the land, you're moving people away from who they are. So they're losing, Am Yisrael are losing their shleimus by losing Eretz Yisrael.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pagam seems to be more in a fuller understanding of really what God wants from Am Yisrael and the Torah and from our path here. So we have to fix that. Even in the Torah world, there's a Pagam. They don't have full Abbas Yisrael or full Abbas Torah, and that goes together with the Chesaron and Eretz Yisrael.
And that's why he's tying all three. This parak is all about tying all three together, that they're all dependent on each other. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's go weiter, because here we get to a really interesting sugya. Ikaron shlemut haaretz hu haomed ma'achorei ha'isur al mi she'eno Yehudi litgorer be'eretz Yisrael. You want to read it again? You want to read that line again, everybody?
It's obvious, no?
No, lama? Why is it obvious, Elad?
Because it's obvious.
No, מאוד מה שאתה אומר, but how come it's not obvious to everybody?
It's not obvious, but it's obvious that if someone buy a house in Israel, so it means that this house in the land is no longer Jew. It's owned to him.
It's not a complicated issue. We're so westernized that we hear such a simple statement, and what do we start thinking about immediately? Yeah, like whatever it is, but not Yiddish thought.
About property rights.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It goes to Baal Shem Tov's board. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant, right? Like this is either like what do we?
So going back to what we said, we're either here or we're not. So what is this line? I'm going to say it again.
What is lahit gorim to gar?
To gar, I mean lashon to dwell, and that's the question. Does it mean to dwell or does it mean to own land?
Because there's ger toshav.
So look at footnote Yud Zayin. Which one is this? Yud Zayin. He quotes here from the Rambam Hilchot Avodat Kochavim, and he says Chasid Umot HaOlam Hachai Be'eretz Yisrael Karui Ger Toshav. Like exactly what you just brought up. But wait a second. What's a Chasid Umot HaOlam?
Not trying to kill us.
Well, even more than not trying to kill, like right?
They support Israel.
People that are serving here, people that would take a bullet for us.
Right here, Hayovel.
So now look what he says here. You're a funny guy. במצב האופטימלי, כאשר עם ישראל כולו יושב על אדמתו והיובל נוהג, okay? So in the most idealist, optimistic, right? Most optimal situation, when the whole land is dwelling in its land and you're Noag in Yovel, איסור זה אינו חל על חסידי אומות העולם. הוא על חסידי אומות העולם. אלו המקיימים יחסי שלום אמת עם העם היהודי, ומקבלים על עצמם את סמכות התורה, בקיום של המצוות בני נוח. They have one authority and one authority only, the Torah. The relevance to them are the 7 Noahide laws. Kol od hayovel eino noheg, as long as we don't have Yovel today, right? Yet, posek הרמב"ם, כי גם לחסידי אומות העולם אסור להתגורר בארצנו. That's crazy. That's so far out.
How would we ever enforce this on the outside of the 7?
Can you bring that together?
I'm going to read it again. I'm not going to give any perushim here. Okay? This is the Rav's words. I'm not going to start darshaning this.
Just translate.
Yeah. Rav Shlomo, you have the English? What's the last? How does he say it in English? It's not exact. The Sefer is not an exact word-for-word translation. Yeah. I'll say it again. Kol od hayovel eino noheg. Now, when is Yovel activated? When the majority, well, there's a machloket whether it's the majority. That's when Shpita becomes Doraisa also. Whether it's the majority of Am Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael or all. Here he's using the word. No, he said kol. He said kol. He said kol. He says as long as Yovel is not noheg, the Rambam says even Chasidei Umot HaOlam, there's an isser for them to live in our. Well, again, we have to define whether living here means dwelling, or owning property. Because then we go to Elad's point and saying, wait a second, of course, then it's an obvious thing. Shleimus Haaretz means the whole thing has to be just owned by Am Yisrael.
Owned?
Yeah.
Meaning they can rent.
Oh, well, we'll see. Oh, maybe we'll see. I hope we'll see.
But also new for me, the Chasid Umot HaOlam means Gel Toshav. It's something...
Yeah, according to the Rambam. Yeah, according to the Rambam.
It's only the state of Israel that gives this to the Holocaust of
That's how I grew up also. I know. There's a monument in Los Angeles, close to where I grew up. He was the Chasid Umot HaOlam. What was his name? It's one from World War II. Rome. No. There was way before.
Wallenberg.
Huh? Raoul Wallenberg, maybe? Or Yaroslavs? I forget who it was. And that's how we refer to Chasidei Umot HaOlam, meaning, look at Eretz Yisrael, people that are living here. It's righteous Gentiles that out there in diaspora decided to not be a Nazi. You know what I mean? Like more or less.
Yeah, I had Sugihara because he saved
Who?
Sugihara saved the Mir Yeshiva, so that's...
Yafeh. Now, this is where it gets tricky. You thought it was clear till now. Check it out. כשאדמה מארץ הקודש נרכשת על ידי אינו יהודי, יש בכך משום טענת זכות שלו בירושת הארץ. Very valid. When a non-Jew acquires land in Eretz Yisrael, there he can have a taina of future Yerusha. This is mine. I'm giving it to my heirs, right? ועל כן יש בכך גם פגם בשלמות קדושתה האמיתית. This is the blemish here in the status of the complete picture of the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. התוצאות הנלוות לשהייתם בארץ הם סכנות פיזיות ורוחניות. Their continued residing in the land, it's not so simple at all, because they provide for us also physical and spiritual dangers המאיימות על קיום העם, that endanger the existence of the people. Do you know? Like they're talking now about trying to figure out until it could be fully avodah ivrit here to import, obviously. I don't know what they were saying. Kol minei, right? And it should be until the bemet, the industry of avodah ivrit becomes as covered here as being a lawyer or a doctor v'chulei. But there's some very serious halachic issues here. Like they cannot live. They have to live. They have to live in their own area. They cannot live amongst us. And it's not out of Chalila Sin'a at all. It's a matter of hitbolelut, assimilation. Pashut.
I remember in Sfat, when they opened the school for doctors, Bar Ilan did it, a religious university. So people of Sfat said that it would bring Arabs into Sfat, which didn't happen since the Milchemet HaAtzmaut.
Right. Asha Milchama.
The Arabs were kicked out of the city and no longer Arabs in Sfat. But now, thanks to religious university, you bring the Arabs back because you cannot avoid them join the doctor because and also in Haifa when
Haifa
together at all. So the rabbi come before Yom Kippur to the secular because the rabbi invited in the Yom Kippur, and he told the children, it's not good for you to marry Arabs and Jewish. But then a girl, Yasmin, said but this is my classmate, Ahmad, and he's a good guy, and I want to marry him. Well, what's the problem, Rabbi? You couldn't explain to her at all. She was Jewish.
Yeah, Eli.
Rav Shimshon Pinchas, just before he passed away, spoke to the Kudus as well, and he had a shtickle nevuah with all the different issues we're going through currently, and that was one of the issues.
The assimilation.
He said we have to really keep Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah. We're either Chevra. This is going back like
he was crazy.
We're either here or we're not here. Like it's gotta. I keep on going back to that line. It's like either this whole entity, this Zionist entity, this dream, is either about like the shlemut or not. And like Yeshua was saying before, a woman is either pregnant or she's not pregnant. You're not a little bit pregnant. You're a little bit not pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant, right? So we're either here or we're not. That's what I would like say the subtitle of this sefer is, you know. Now look how it continues. מן ההיבט הרוחני, מציאותם של גויים בתוך עם ישראל היושב בארצו מעוררת ביושבי הארץ, במודע או שלא במודע, נטייה נפשית להתבולל בגויים הללו. Consciously or subconsciously, the Rav says, the dwelling of the dwelling of non-Jewish people within the Am that's living in its land is consciously or subconsciously me'orer a ratzon to assimilate.
Is that one of the biggest problems we have within the IDF itself?
I don't know. It's a problem, yeah. In principle, it's like, hell, he's good enough to get killed for me, but he's not good enough to marry me.
Right.
Yeah. It's a big problem.
Assimilation isn't just intermarriage.
Nachon.
There's low percentage of Jews marrying Arabs. That's not the issue. The issue
Correct.
is
It's more than that. It's more than that.
It's enough of an issue.
Chevra, now, nothing until I tell you guys to say something. I have a few more minutes, and it's Erev Pesach. השלמות העצמית של התורה, של עם ישראל ושל ארץ ישראל, נובעת ממקור אלוקי ונצחי. You have to understand. The actual shlemus of the Torah, of the Am, and of the land only comes from one place. A godly, eternal source. ועלינו מוטל להשתדל בכל כוחנו לגרום לשלמות האלוקית הזאת להופיע תחת מגבלות הזמן והמקום שאנו חיים בהם. Yossi, take this back to where it came from, because what he just said was, what's our avoda here? What's our avoda here? Our avoda here is to cause that this shlemut elokit to come down into our concept of time and space, because a godly source is beyond time and space, right? Makor Eloki Nitzchi is beyond this world. And everything in Lubavitch is to make this down here a dira for Hashem down here. So we're trying to take things that are crystal clear in the places that are beyond time and space, bring them into the confines of time and space, which is where we're living, to bring it into our reality, into the way we live our life. The concept of Shlemut Elokit. ההבנה זו היא כישרון של מוח הבינה. He says, now let's go back to why this is in this chapter. Chochma, I can know things to be true. Bina is, okay, how do I bring it down into this world? And then Das would be it. It'd be being it, living it, doing it. The kisharon of the moach, of the mochin that comes from Bina is this understanding how it could be. It's almost like, Yossi, I'd say they're stuck on Chochma. They're stuck on Chochma. Bina, I don't know. שטבעו להתבונן בדברים כפי שהם במקורם. Bina has the ability to look at things the way they are in its source. מעל ממדי הזמן והמקום הגשמיים, beyond the how did we say ממד? Dimensions, thank you, of time and space, of physical time and space. That's what this mochin of Bina has the ability for us to do. To take it to a place, remember, what's Chochma, Abba or Ima? Abba. Bina is Ima. A mother has a way of always being able to, that sense, bidyuk, of source, of going back to roots in a way that, defies the confines of what we're stuck in right now. And this is how, and basically this is how the Rebbe chose to lityaches to this sugya, like he says over here in the bottom, the Rebbe spoke about this a lot. It's amazing. No other Hasidic Rebbe that I know of spoke about this extensively, or even at all, even if at all, spoke about the importance, the necessity of Shleimus Haaretz.
Did the Saba Rebbe didn't talk about this?
He spoke, no.
No? Okay.
No. I mean, if he did, it was not, put it like this. Again, I want to just say again what I said last week. Alavai, the whole Am that lives in Eretz Yisrael right now would have love for Eretz Yisrael like the Satmar Rebbe had in his toenail. That's just Aleph. But Beis is that the Satmar Rebbe didn't get into the sugya of shleimus versus non-shleimus.
It was just not ours.
That's what Yossi was saying to the extreme.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying at the beginning, like, because Rav Ginsburg focuses so much on the Midah Bina, you know, these Torahs have always had problems with, especially to my original point of, it doesn't mean them. Because I can't think in my head who that leader is that's going to be able to understand all this. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Jeremiah talked about it, but maybe the guy looks like this. I don't know who he is.
A political leader or a spiritual leader?
Political. I mean, who's going to be able to get this and be able to get up there and try and articulate it to us first, and then to the rest of the world, and just have the guts to do it, and just know this point inside. And I just can't. That's why I'm like, maybe it's not for now. And maybe that's really my own self. But today, when Rav Ginsburg focuses on the Midah Bina, for the first time, I said, oh my gosh, Yos, no, this is a woman. This could be a woman. This sounds to me like a woman.
I'm thinking of someone very clear to me.
Who?
Miriam Peretz.
I
was just messing with you.
So was I. The truth is, to that point, though, because I'm around, and she's like, and so she's like with Yehudi, who's demanding Geula, or this. She took a class with Rav Ginsburg with this.
The Torah Nefesh.
Or is her name?
Yeah.
And her son is a hostage, and she speaks, and these people speak with just clarity. And Muna, and just even more laser beam focus and pushing Hashem's hand, so to speak, in a way that I don't hear from anyone else. And so I could, only now I can understand, oh my gosh, okay, thank you, Rav Ginsburg. This is a Midah Bina. I get who has Bina. It's not me and you. It's them, the women, which I can hear, and there are a bunch of them that are out there. And so now all of a sudden, I can make this a little more practical and timely today for me.
Then Lakewood would say, now I know you're officially up.
Right.
Now, if I wasn't sure until now, now I know for sure any marble you may have had.
That's what Shleimus Torah.
Yeah, that is Shleimus Torah. And that's why, Rav Ginsburg's gone through the four mahapechot, the four revolutions that have to happen. And the one that he's currently been speaking about for the last, I don't know, maybe already 10 years, is this teaching Torah to the non-Jewish people. But the one about women's limud Torah was one of the biggest ones that he was focusing on for years. Because these are necessary revolutions that need to happen. Not just talking about opening up a Beis Yaakov, you understand? It's to learn, and that's why this whole school that produced, I know some of these women, we can't. It's not we're not on the level. We're not there.
That's exactly right. We're not on the level.
Because he says that Bina has the mochin of Bina. What did he say over here? He says it has the ability to go to the source by Makor, right? Right? Now, I just because we only have a few minutes, we have to continue. I just want to finish this. This is amazing, and it goes back to Jeremy's concern in the beginning and Ari's. So again, Rebbe התייחס רבות לסוגיית שלמות הארץ ודן בה מכל ההיבטים שהזכרנו. The Rebbe spoke about it from many different areas. And he always went back to the security issue. I'm just reading, there's a letter here from 1982. In footnote, this is Yutet. Be'igarto l'Rav HaRashi shel Anglia, Rabbi Yakubovich. Sir Rabbi Yakubovich, the chief rabbi of England. So this is winter 1982. The Rebbe says like this: Dibarti al ha'isur al vitur al shtachim hamevusas al halacha b'shulchan aruch b'ilchos Shabbos shin chavtes. Bli kesher likdushat haaretz. When I'm speaking about the isser of giving back any land, I'm not even going into I'm not even touching upon the inyan of the kedusha of the land. It's not even where I'm operating from. Dainu rak biglal pikuach nefesh sheshayach afilu lekila yehudit bechutz laaretz. He's saying, and I feel like when I saw this, I'm thinking to myself, when you give back an inch, do you know who's in danger? The Yid in Edgewood, the Yid, everyone. Listen, it's not just Feiglin that said this. There's some top people in some bright people in Eretz Yisrael, like Tzvi Cheskeli and a few other people, Eliyahu Yassian, that Persian, yeah. They said, you know what happened? You know how the world erupted with anti-Semitism the way it did? What day did it erupt with anti-Semitism?
October 8th.
October 8th in the afternoon. Okay, Mashu Kazeh. Do you know why? Because on October 8th in the morning, Gaza still existed. Pasha. I believe in that with every ounce of my being.
Or Tehran existed.
Whatever we had to do at the moment of the concept of pikuach nefesh, that has to do also with diaspora communities. דיברתי גם בפעם אחרת בקשר לאותו עניין מצד קדושת הארץ, גם דיברתי בקשר לאותו עניין בקשר לניצחון שלווה בניסים גלויים. So the Rebbe is saying, I spoke about it, I've spoken about this from many different places, but from the place of bitchoni is where the Rebbe stood, most firmly. Now, and this is a klipa here, talk about Tikkun Medina. It is so revealed now, and it's so intense. It's so intense. בנוגע לביטחון, הוא הזהירנו להיוועץ, אך ורק במומחי ביטחון המשוללים עמדה פוליטית. Do you know what that means? The Rebbe said, when it comes to any type of security issues, he advised to only seek counsel and discuss with top people in security, meshulal emda politit, that are not politically affiliated whatsoever. He's laughing because it's not to be believed. It's just not to be believed how that sakana, mamish, when it went into the army in such a way that has, we can go off on a tangent now for 3 hours on this issue. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Is there anyone, bitchoni, that is actually meshulal emda politit? Right? That's what you're thinking, right? If the Rebbe says you should seek counsel with those, I trust the Rebbe's words that those exist. Where? I don't know. Or if they don't, then they're not part of the Then they're not part of the discussion here of the bitachon issue, right?
There are. They're just on the top of the theme. They're like one level below. They never really.
I think there are. Yeah, I think there are. They just they haven't been allowed to go up there.
Yeah, but they don't have any.
They don't have the political backing.
Back inside. The Rebbe also advises us to the following: it's very easy to go into despair when you look at that fact on the ground. It's a crippling feeling. But the Rebbe also, he says, הוא גם עורר אותנו להתבונן ולהכיר טובה על הניסים הגדולים שעל ידם הושבה ארץ ישראל לידינו, which is what? Yossi, I hate to go back to you, they don't. The Rebbe was very big on making sure you recognize the miracles, the great miraculous thing of coming back home to Eretz Yisrael. ולימדנו להעריך את טוב השם שהתגלה עלינו במתנה זו. And it was all about looking at the goodness of Hashem that was revealed to us through this gift. אך מעל הכל, but above everything, הדגיש הרבי את הקשר המהותי בין שלמות הארץ לשלמות התורה והעם. But the Rebbe emphasized more than anything this trio, the trifecta, which is the shlemut haaretz, shlemut haTorah, v'shlemut ha'am. Those three things are dependent on each other, meaning in every aspect, the Rebbe said basically where you're either here or you're not. So let's go now back. Right? Shlemut Torah. Regarding the Torah, like we started, the Torah is the only authority. The Torah is what every one of us needs, wants, loves, and loves us, and nothing else, and all of it. Shlemut Ha'am. We're not giving up on any Yid, no matter what. You're not giving up on any Yid, no matter what. I know in your mind you're already going to like the Erev Rav detection, Hatzlacha with that. We're not going there. And the third thing, of course, is Shlemut Ha'aretz. We're either back here in Eretz Yisrael, Bi Shlemuta, or you may as well, listen, it's a long story, but I was watching like a beautiful hallel done in someone's living room yesterday, a little bit louder yesterday. Only because, that's real love, you know that. I was watching this hallel that was done in the most comfortable, it was such a beautiful hallel. And I was looking at the area, right, where it was done, this gorgeous, peaceful, green, lush garden somewhere in the States, right? What's wrong with that?
Because we're all in here. We're all in.
Because we have to be all in. Because we have to be all in. But if we're not all in, there's nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
You hear? That's the point. No, that's the... I want to remove once and for all any judgment any of us here have about Yidden and Chutz La'aretz. I can't take it anymore. It's got to be removed from its core, right? Until you're really providing here the Eretz Yisrael that's shayach to the shleimus of the Am Kulo, don't get riled up about anything else that's going on. Because each of us in this room were there and plucked out matnas chinam from Hashem. Yeah. Now he finishes. Again, Ach me'al hakol yidgish Rebbe et hakesher ha'mauti ben shleimus haaretz le'shleimus haTorah ve'ha'am, ve'yitkaven b'pashtut lomar she'eretz Yisrael tzricha l'isher b'shleimuta, mikevan שבמקורה העליון היא שלמה באמת. In its supreme source, it's full. Everything's a reflection from above. If above, it's complete, the reflection of it down here has to reflect what it is up there. In its source, it's shalem. כפי שהייתה תמיד, וכפי שתישאר תמיד. Meaning, any type of national pride you're trying to build up here that is not the complete picture of Eretz Yisrael is not, I'm going to say a word now, you're going to kill me, okay? You ready? Is not Jewish.
One more time.
Any type of vision of this country and this land that is not attempting to reflect in its source, in the world of Bina, what this land really is not a Jewish story. It may be a very cool Rambo type of national story, right? But if that's not part of the deal here, it's no chiddush it's still a chiddush to plenty of people, unfortunately.
It's still chiddush. We can't kill it because I didn't understand anything. What do you mean?
תראה עוד פעם מה שהוא אמר. הרבי התכוון לומר בפשטות שארץ ישראל צריכה להישאר בשלמותה מכיוון שבמקורה העליון היא שלמה באמת. כפי שהייתה תמיד, כפי שתישאר תמיד. זאת אומרת, אם אני מנסה לבנות פה ארץ ישראל, שהיא לא מעין השקפה של ארץ ישראל במקורה, בעולמות העליונים בשלמותה, ואני מנסה לעשות פה כאילו the best that I could do, ואני מסתפק בזה, זה לא מושג יהודי, זה אולי מושג ישראלי לאומי מאוד יפה. אז אני חייב, ואיך אני יודע איך נראית ארץ ישראל למעלה? שלמות העם ושלמות התורה. לכן הוא תולה כל אחד בשני, אתה מבין? יאללה. Let's go for it, חבר'ה. Let's go for it. It should be Shleimus.